Paul and Herbert and I and our cousin went to Warrior River swimming. Actually, we were supposed to be going blackberry hunting, and we found about enough that we could eat, about a handful. So we decided we'd go down to the river and go swimming. They had a ramp built down there for people to be baptized. The river was so deep along there, so they built it about waist deep. A platform and wait out on it. They baptized people.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in swimming with Herbert and I. Either one couldn't swim, and Paul and that cousin, they could swim, and so they were swimming. And both of them got out of the water, and Paul walked up behind Herbert. He was wet. He just got out of the water and caught him by the ribs.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to make like he's going to push him in.
Yeah.
And he pushed him and tried to grab him back, and he slipped out of his hand, and off in that deep water he went. And so that made, I got scared and mad too. I ran up in the woods to get me a stick, and Herbert, Paul, and J.C. was trying to get Herbert out of the water. And when I got back, Herbert was laying down, and J.C. had Herbert laying over on his stomach on Paul's back, crossways, and they were pumping water out of him.
Oh, no.
So I decided that wasn't the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Not to eat him.
That's
So we
funny.
went on home, and Mama said, "Where's the blackberries?" So, well, we couldn't find any. She said, "Well, what's that on your teeth and mouth?"
You'd already eaten them, huh?
Yeah. we'd eaten one.
Stained your mouth.
Yeah.
That was funny. Got another one?
Well, it's about Herbert and Paul. I can think about things now. Paul, I better not say this because you might show it to some of the family, but
No, I won't show it to anybody's family.
I started to say that Herbert and Paul had more fights over me. Herbert was one. That's after my dad died.
Mm-hmm.
Herbert wanted to correct me, and Paul wanted to keep him off of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're getting more fights.
So what did you do that you don't want to tell anybody?
I was going to make a comment about the two boys, but I decided that it would be favoritism, so I was.
You're not going to say anything, huh?
Yeah, and but anyhow, in the wintertime we had a little, we call it little number 4 stove heater, about that high.
Laundry heater, they called it.
Yeah. But anyhow, that's what we used to heat the house. And so it was in the spring, and Mom always had them take this pipe run from the heater right straight up out of the house, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to take it down. Every summer she took it down, and had taken it down and leaned the pipe up against the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before they ever cleaned it out or anything. And Herbert and Paul got in a fight. Well, they were more or less fussing, you know, shoving around. And they got out in the yard, and one shoved the other against that pipe, and it come apart, and they just got soot all over them.
Oh, yeah.
They started laughing about it. That was awful.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, y'all had a lot of fun times, it sounds like.
Some of them was quite fun.
Yeah.
After I learned to swim, it was more fun.
More fun. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't afraid somebody was going to drown me.
Yep. Cool. Well,
We-
thank.
We used to play, had a little swimming hole. It was down in the woods, there was a creek.
Mm-hmm.
And we play in that swimming hole nude. So, and then there was a pasture just about far near the back of this house from the swimming hole, and it was an open space. And we go out there and play football, and me in the nude. You go get hot, we go back and swim.
And then get back in there?
Yeah. Get back.
Nobody was watching you, huh, through the trees?
Hope not.
No, not, huh?
But,
Wasn't anybody in 10, 12 mile of it.
huh?
I said, wasn't no house in no 10, 12 mile of
That's
it.
long ways. Oh, I mean,
Playing football.
it, one place we lived, men had a turnip patch. They was big, they was big as your fist.
Mm-hmm.
And we go down there and get some of those turnips, and there's a big sawdust pile pretty close. We go up there and eat those turnips, raw turnips,
Ooh.
and beer the peelings and the tops in that sawdust.
Isn't that sawdust?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever eaten raw turnips before. They didn't give you a
Raw
bellyache?
turnips and raw potatoes, sweet potatoes was good. You like to get up.
Yeah, we eat raw sweet potatoes, but this is turnips.
Yeah,
Raw
no,
turnips?
I said them raw turnips and sweet potatoes. Raw sweet potatoes was good back then.
Yeah,
Raw.
but you didn't eat them together. We had a lot of fun as children, but it was rough.
I imagine, yeah.
Pauline was working, keeping house, and Paul was 17, that's when Dad died. And he was the only one working, and me and Herbert was going to school, and got so poor he couldn't go to school, so Herbert had to stop work. And then later on, I had to go to work, and I went to work for Sterling Pate, bought me a pair of shoes on credit, yeah, and I stayed in debt to him till I left Winfield.
Did you work at a store? Didn't he have a store or something?
I worked at a coal yard,
Okay.
yeah. And then when Paul started working a room by himself, in the mine, they call them rooms.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And he got, so I started working with him. I was too young to work in the mines, but I started working with him, and we hear if the mining inspector was coming, well, we always got word not hiding in the gob, till he left. And then I'd go back to work. And it got cold, right?
Yeah.
First day I worked in the mine, you had little wagons, and you call it chunking, but you put the big lumps in the ends,
Uh-huh.
and then put the small coal in the middle. So that's what I was doing. I was rolling some big chunks over there, and I got over to the car, and I was down on my knees. I was going to pick it up. When I picked it up, my head hit the top, and the coal hit me.
Oh.
And so that was pretty rough. But I worked a while with him, and then he just decided all at once he's going to come back to Montgomery and gathers up all his tools. And of course I had to quit, I couldn't work by myself. Gathered up all his tools, and that evening he was gone. When I got home, he'd gone to Montgomery.
Montgomery,
That's after he married and lost his wife.
Uh-huh.
No, that's before she died that he left Montgomery. That's how come he come to Montgomery, was moving her. Don't you know she would cry when he'd go off to work on the morning.
And who was this?
And his daddy-in-law, her daddy-in-law worked at Kilby Prison. And Tarina, they brought Tarina, Paul seen he had to get Tarina out. Tarina out of there. He had to get out of that coal mines. I don't know about him getting mad. He might have. I don't know. But anyhow, that's one reason they left Winfield, was on account of her. They moved to Montgomery, to his mother-in-law's.
I'm telling Noah when he came back to Winfield, after his wife died, he came back to
Oh,
Winfield.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he stayed a while. I was working with him, and he stayed a while, just up and
Okay, I'm
took off
sorry.
back to Montgomery.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. All that you said was true, but that was after he had married and his wife died, and he came back to Montgomery. I mean to
Oh, okay.
Winfield, working the mines. It was rough.